Yes, welcome back to the Righteous Sinner podcast. Today we want to discuss some issues from the last election. Still in the silly season, you know, we see Democrats are kind of scared because the statistics shows that quite a few of, young black men voted for Trump. And they're quite perplexed as to, why someone like Trump would he even got so much of the black vote, especially the young black vote. But remember, the Democratic Party see the black vote as a monolith and that they control the black vote. And it's shocking and surprising whenever a Negro straight from the plantation. So, you know, how did we get here and how do we get the best bang for our buck in terms of vote? How do we make every vote count, not physically, but when we do vote for one of these guys or gals, make sure that the vote is respected and appreciated, and they know that it's because of us why they're in power. How do we get them to understand that? And I think one of the best way is to not totally vote just for one party, because if they see you as just only voting one way, then they'll know that they could continue to lie to you and tell you all you need to hear just to get your vote. Therefore, the other party know that they have nothing to gain by courting you, so they have nothing to offer you because you won't vote for them. So the best way is to surprise them and split the vote and show them that you Negroes do have a conscience, voice, and a mind of your own. Now, let's read something from Vox, VOX. One of the surprises in the election is that President Donald Trump actually improved his standing with the black voters over 4 years ago. According to AP Votecast, Trump won 8% of the black vote, about a 2 percentage point gain on his 2016 numbers. Using the 2016 Cooperative Congressional Election Study, or CCES, a national survey of more than 50,000 confirmed voters as a point of comparison. And he may have done even better than the 2% points if you compare the CCES numbers to the results of the 2020 exit polls by Edison Research. Trump actually improved by 4% points. A clearer picture will emerge in the years to come, confirming, confirming whom poll respondents actually voted or takes time. Let me read it again. A clearer picture will emerge in the years to come, confirming whom poll respondents actually voted for take time. Okay? For instance, a Pew Research study on the 2016 election demographic breakdown of verified voters was published not months after the contest, but in August 2018. And Edison pollsters are still adjusting and weighing on the data. Ensure it as accurate as possible. But here's what we know right now. Black voters made up about 11 to 12% of the electorate. According to the AP and Edison, respectively, the AP found that 90% of black votes went to Biden and 8% to Trump. Hedison research determined that 87% of blacks voted for Biden and 12% for Trump. Both found black men were more likely than black women to support Trump. In the AP's case, 12% of black voters backed Trump compared to 6% of black women. In Edison's case, 18% of black men votes cast ballots for Trump, while 8%, I mean, this is kind of confusing. Anyway, what it is actually saying is that the black woman saved the Democratic Party. The black woman is the reason why Democrats are in power. Once again, the black man is a little bit more likely to vote for Trump. Why is that? Well, let's go back to 2016. In 2016, they say the reason why Trump won is because of racism, racial animus, racism, I did say racism, um, misogyny, and white grievance. Now, what does that have to do with the black vote? They're saying that blacks or black men can be racist and misogynistic as well. Forget about the racist part when they come on to black men. They mainly want to say black men as well can be misogynistic. And in the case of black men having animus when they come on to the economy, that may be true. I mean, we have heard blacks disparage other blacks from the Caribbean, Africa, and other places that, you should go back home and go back to where you come from, why you're here, what are you doing here, why are you here, and we don't need you guys here. That sentiments I've heard from black American. Now, with that said, we know that immigration animus also come from blacks as well. In the grand scheme of things, Democrat would love you to believe that the reason why blacks are listening to the conservative views or the conservative point of view is because we are frustrated and fed up with the talks of neoliberalism, and we're turned off by socialism and talks of um, the Me Too movements and political correctness. I mean, those are good enough points, and yes, enough of us are tired of all the correctness. But one of the things that we hear a lot of young blacks latch on to is the fact that the Democratic Party have been getting the black votes for almost 100 years now, consistently, and nothing has been done for them. All these promises of equality and all these promises of making everything right economically, nothing has changed. The inequity economically and socially is still there. Right? Police brutality is still there, poverty is still there, and racial injustice is still there. None of these things a Democrat has made an effort to really fix. We 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 understand that Obama was hampered with a House and a Senate that was totally against him. So we see where certain things could not get passed through or put through. Now, on a local level, you have elected mayors, governors, city councils for being Democrats, and nothing has got done. So when Trump says, young Negroes, what do you have to lose for voting for me? They're looking at it like, hey, we have spent all this time, all our generations before us, and voted for Democrats, and we're still getting shot down in the streets like dogs. We're still hungry, we're still poor, and we're still not nowhere close where we need to be. And yes, voting Republicans or voting conservative won't make that overnight transition. I hope won't make that overnight switch. When Trump says most of these cities or all of these cities that all these unrest are taking place are democratic is untrue. It is not true, right? There's police brutality in almost every major city, towns, county in America. And ones that are democratic, we don't see a uptick or downtick in police violence versus the ones that are led by Republican. So it's equal across the board. But for a party that has been getting the black vote for almost 100 years, what have you done for the Negro? What has the Democratic Party done for the Negro? I haven't seen much. The 94 crime bill has put more Negroes in prison than any other piece of legislation that was enacted by a Democratic president, Bill Clinton, right? We see where Obama and Trump has come and promised to fix that. And to some extent, they kind of did, but nothing really got done. So now, what do you got to lose, Negroes? That's what Trump is asking. I'm not saying go and vote for Republicans. I'm saying don't let Democrats think that they own you. Step off the plantation a little bit. See what's outside. Okay, here's another piece from the Atlanta Voice. It says, Black men are hurting. Political parties mostly forgotten them. And then there's this anger, whether it's right or misguided, towards Biden for the 94 crime bill, said Unique Tolliver, a New York based mathematician. The 94 crime bill, which was authored by the Senator Biden and signed by President Clinton, was crafted to address rising crime in the United States. The law contained numerous crime prevention provisions, including the controversial three strikes, mandatory life sentence for repeat violent offenders. The law, which also called for funding community policing in prisons, disproportionately punish African American men and mostly observers said it's caused mass incarceration. But what black people today fail to understand is that at the time there were all of these black people, including the clergy, who supported the bill, said Lorna Turner, a California based psychologist. Well, let's stop right there. That may be true. that may have been true. There was a lot of black intellectuals, a lot of black um, professors and you know inte- intellectuals who thought that the propositions from the 94 crime bill would really put a dent in crime. But these young Negroes that voted for Trump, most of their uncles, brothers, and fathers are in prison because of that said bill. And they see it as a punishment for them. And Biden claiming that you're not really black if you don't vote for him did not really help his case either. So he really have the some of these older, you know, black men who have their head on correctly, and these women, these negresses, to really thank for his presidency right now. So we see where the black vote is being valued, and I hope going forward that politicians really put some kind of urgency to letting blacks know and show that the black vote is appreciated. We're coming to the end of another episode, and I really enjoy talking about this one because we need to be more cognizant of the fact that our vote is necessary, and not only is it necessary, it's supposed to be cherished and valued, because the most pressure on any voting bloc is the black voting bloc. We don't see this kind of pressure added to white people to go out and vote. There's more white people in this country than black people. And if they really want to support their party, then we wouldn't really stand a chance. So we know that not everybody want to vote, and not everybody like to vote. So we have to congratulate the few people that do vote and turn up consistently for the so-called Democrats. I'm the furthest thing from a independent. I'm the furthest thing from a Democrat. I'm the furthest thing from a conservative. I'm apolitical, and it's going to take a lot for me to maybe cast a vote in this country or any other country. But I want to see more people exercise their right to vote and really make it count where it counts. Go out and support your local Senate races, your governor races, your sheriff, your marshals, judges, your local legislators. Go out and make your voice be heard. Don't worry about me. I'll be fine. This is your country. Make every vote count. Thank you, and we'll see you in the next episode.